Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, Living Life with Leticia. So today we are reading a bedtime story. So grab your pillow, grab your blanket, get you a nice cup of hot cocoa because this is one that you'll need to tuck in for. Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, lived a beautiful princess. Her name was Princess Tisy. Princess Tisy was a young woman that enjoyed her life. She had 2 sons. That she was twice married. So after that, she basically decided she would take care of her sons and herself. That was her ultimate goal. Due to some difficulties in her marriage, she moved away, lived with her beautiful mother and stepfather. She lived with them for several years, just deciding what she wanted to do now with her life and where to go. She left her job at the time and proceeded to attend cosmetology school. She was living a great life. Her sisters were there with her mom and stepdad as well, so it was just an all-family affair. Everything was going great, but there was something missing from her life. Princess Tisy was lonely. She realized that once her children grew of age and decided that they would move away, then she would be left alone. She decided that she would pray before she started looking for a mate. She prayed to the Lord on Christmas Eve night. One blessing. The blessing that she asked for was to meet a fair prince, someone to love her, someone to love her children, and someone that she could grow old with. She prayed and asked the Lord for favor on her life. She asked for a great Christmas, which she knew her children would have, because she asked them to write a list of the things they wanted for Christmas. And she got everything on the list for them. This was going to be a Christmas to remember. And so it was. Although she wanted to do hair, and that was her lifelong thing to do, that there still was something missing. The Christmas tree was packed. It was filled around the tree. But there was one thing or something that was missing from Princess Leticia's life. She said she wanted a mate. And this time, Lord, because before, she's not sure if the Lord had sent her these dudes or what. But she was going to do it right this time. She asked the Lord, please, Lord, if it be in your holy and heavenly will, send me a husband. Send me a mate. Send me someone that will love me, that will care for me, that will care for my children, and love me beyond anything else. And she prayed the prayer, and she asked for those blessings. And she said, thank you, Lord. I appreciate everything you've done. And you've provided all of these gifts for my sons. And I have nothing else to ask for, Lord. So thank you. So once she got up from her prayer, they had a wonderful Christmas dinner. Everyone came over, and it was Christmas as usual. All of the songs and the carols they sang, they opened gifts. They had a joyful time, and they gave thanks for everything that they had. But Princess Leticia still, she was down in the dump. She realized there's something missing, but she know that the prayer that she prayed and asked the Lord for, that he would deliver for her. Later that evening, they were putting away the gifts and opening up the gifts, and we realized, oh, there's the Walkie Talkies that she had purchased for her youngest son. She opened up the Walkie Talkies and they began to play. They all ran into different rooms. They wanted to see if they could hear each other. And yes, they could. Signal was coming in loud and clear. No static or anything. These were just a couple of cheap walkie-talkies, but they were magic. They had been blessed. So they began to play with those walkie-talkies as they would. The night began to grow dark. Everyone began to get sleepy and tired. So tomorrow is a full day because it's a school day as well as a school day for her. As she was putting them away, a voice came on the walkie-talkie. It said, "Hello?" She was startled. Who was that? What happened? What made that voice come in? Did they come in this walkie-talkie that she's holding? It said hello again. Hello. There's someone in there. There's someone in this walkie-talkie. And they're talking to me. So I said, hello. He said, who is this? And I said, who is this? You're on my walkie-talkie. Who is this? He says, you're on my walkie-talkie. He began to back and forth, passing that, who is this? And how did you get there? And what's happened? And in the midst of it, I'm frantic. I'm thinking, what's happened here? I put it down and I go and run and tell my sister. She gets up and she thinks, oh my God, there is someone on there. I said, listen, he's saying something. And she said, I hear it. I ran and told my mom and my stepdad. They said, hang up. It's a murderer. He's no good. Don't continue talking. Well, once they said that, of course she's going to talk. Well, she did. She began to have a conversation with this unknown person. So she asked, who is this? He says, my name is Cedric. Well, that was odd because my brother-in-law's name was Cedric, and I had heard of no other Cedrics in my whole life. That one Cedric was the only Cedric that I knew, which was my sister's husband at the time. Well, my sister that was there with me, we were like, where are you? He says, I'm in the garage. So she takes out and she runs and she goes and she looks in the garage. There's no one there. There's no one in this garage. What garage are you in? She says. He says, I'm in my friend's garage. I'm like, oh my God. Where's your friend? I mean, who is your friend? Where does your friend live? And he said, they're from the land of Dallas. The land of Dallas? That's where I am. I'm in the land of Dallas. And they both were in awe. She looked at her sister and she said, I don't know what to think. How could this man be in this walkie-talkie? And how could I be having a conversation with him as we were? What's happened? Well, he says he was in the garage. And TC says, well, I'm at my mom's. We live in the land of Dallas. She lives off of the street called Alaman. He said, Alaman is where I am. I'm at my friend's house. How did we cross paths? He says, well, I was playing with my friend's son's walkie-talkie. And I said, I was playing with my son's walkie-talkie. They talked a bit on the walkie-talkie. And then she said, here's my number. Give me a call tomorrow and we can talk more. Well, he didn't wait until tomorrow. He called that night and they talked for hours and hours and hours. She realized, I like this dude. And I think he realized, I like this chick. So we agreed to meet. But I wanted it to be a well-lit area where there's plenty of people and where I feel safe. But I did not want him to come to my mother's home because that's where we were living. And we wanted to remain safe. They agreed to meet at a designated place. She was still going to cosmetology school, so she said, why don't you meet me at the cosmetology school? And he said, sure, okay. I'll be there around 3. I had advised all of my classmates, all of friends, all of my instructors, everyone that was there, everyone of what had happened. She said a man came in on our walkie-talkie. There was an interception of our signals, and we began to talk. And now he wants to meet. We want to meet. And I want you guys to watch, or not watch, but be on lookout, because I'm not sure who this man is. My mom and my stepdad, they said he may be a murderer. He could be anyone. I don't know. So they listened to her and they agreed. Oh, sure. Yes, we'll be right there for you. And they were. And they agreed that if he tried any funny business, they would pounce and they would beat him to a pulp. And these were people with curling irons and electrical cords. So they meant business. After they met, they decided to have a date. And by chance, someone was having a party. And they went to the party. And that began the relationship. They began dating. They began seeing each other. It happened where the friend, where he was sharing the walkie-talkies, lived right next door to my mother. It was a friend of his that he had gone to visit. They began to play with the walkie-talkies as me and my sons were playing with our walkie-talkies. And somehow signal was intercepted and we all were on one frequency. Later on, after she thought about it, she realized that the Lord had blessed her with what she had asked for. She asked for someone that would care for her and someone that would love her children as he loves her, as when she found that in him. He found it also in her. I'm not sure what his prayer was because it doesn't say. But her prayer was answered in such a unique way that no one but the Lord could have blessed them with that union. It turned out that she actually needed him. After they had dated for a couple of months, she was going to take her exams for her cosmetology classes. She could not find a model to go with her. She needed a model to manicure, and she also needed a model for a facial, which he graciously agreed to both. However, it's kind of hard to do a facial on a man to put makeup on. So her cousin had agreed to go. However, she had a child, and that child would have to go with us. But there was no way that they could go into the examination room along with her. So we needed someone to babysit somewhere. So he volunteered to babysit while she attended her cosmetology exams. The first part of her exam, which was with the models, she passed with flying colors. However, she did not pass on the written part. So she had to go back. And guess what? He went back with her to the city of Austin, away from Dallas. And they drove to Austin, and she passed her test. And she was so happy. He handed her a note. And the note said, "When all of this is over, would you marry me?" She looked at the note and she looked at him. And she remembered all of the things that he had done for her, that they had met because that she believed that the Lord had sent him to her. They came together in a unique way. And she just believed that the Lord put them together. So when he asked, "Would you marry me?" there was no hesitation in her at all. She said, "Of course, I will marry you." And they moved to the land of Oklahoma. And in Oklahoma, they lived there. And they made a life for themselves. They had 2 great sons and a great daughter. They lived graciously in their modern home. They had grandchildren and they loved their family. They realized that the Lord put them together. And although they will have strifes, they will have issues, they will have ups and downs, but in the book of life, they were given each other. And they plan on living out their lives together, happily ever after, in their cottage they call home. They live now in Oklahoma. They left the land of Dallas 27 years ago, and they set off for the land of Oklahoma. When they reached Oklahoma, they realized that they had made a life for each other. They were there for each other, regardless of the ups and downs, regardless of whatever went on. This Christmas tale is not really a tale. It is what happened in the life of Cedric and Leticia. They live together, they love together, they have children, and they love their grandchildren. They love their families and their friends, and they lived happily ever after. I hope you guys have a good night. This made my Christmas even grander when I realized that I had a bedtime story to tell. And my bedtime story is for all to hear and to love and to realize that there is love out here. Realize that if you pray for what you want, the Lord is listening and will grant you your blessings and will grant you whatever it is that you're asking for. But ask in faith. Know that He will bless you. The Lord sent me my husband. Although I had to go through a couple to get to him. He is my choice. And I was His choice. I was His first, His last, His everything. You guys have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And remember, love is out there. If you haven't found your mate, or if you have found your mate, remember how you met. Remember the good times. Because every day is not going to be good times. You're going to have some issues in your marriage and in your relationship. But it can take you, let's remember. Remember the way we were. Do, 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 do. Bye. Merry Christmas. Deuces. Be blessed and be a blessing. Merry Christmas.